think it is definitely his time in the sun. He makes his opponents look like clowns. Do so. Thorin, you hate it, but it's your turn.
It was all right. It was all right, yeah. No, the thing is, yeah, obviously he's a player where the whole time in this NRG core, he was the guy people were looking who could potentially be the hardcore carry. The problem was, when he got to the big lands, he was always a little bit quiet. So, one of the things I think is interesting is I showed you all those streaks that
pushing upper, pushing through flanking. I don't know if he's going to be able to do
can they count on that again?
Astralis' T-side looks really good in regulation on that map.
Yeah, Overpass as well is one where I'm curious. Like, I know we just had Liquid with some very strong B defenders, but Ethan and Breeze are the B defenders for the NRG side on a map like Overpass, and they're the two of the best riflers on that squad. Yeah. So if they want to play in scrim like that, they want to roll into that B bomb site the same direction.
Okay, well, bite your tongue, because I know that we've got so much to say about Overpass. It's not our first map. Let's be careful. I'd love to talk about that, especially considering what Astralis taught us about their Overpass and their form on that map. But the first play will be back to Train. Now, you've been talking a lot about it, but this series impressed you. What are the chances that we get to see similar resistance from NRG again? How much do we attribute their win, their trial and tribulations on that map to Stanislav's quote-unquote overperformance?
That's a tough one, right? Because I've not doubted NRG, I just haven't expected them to continue this momentum. I thought they would come into a roadblock at some point. They haven't stopped yet. They've been looking good. But I want to say this. I think Astralis came into this tournament as the best team in the world.
I said that as well. I think so too.
Wow. Okay.
You mean secretly?
Secretly, without knowing, of course. Right? Coming in as the best team in the world. I think, you know, obviously we can't know what they did in that boot camp, but in terms of what happened to them in their downturn, the fire's been lit, this team knows how to win, and I think that they've looked the most prepared, obviously, since the last major. So they're here to take another trophy, and that's why I'm sold on Astralis.
Chad Burchill sold on Astralis. The game yesterday has turned so many heads. I see where he's coming
from, but I feel like these two have got a bit too intoxicated by how brilliant the game yesterday was, because the team that I saw Astralis was the one that could have got 2-0 by Crazy, did lose to NRG outright, including on their dominant nuke that they're supposed to still secretly be the best in the world. Oh, sorry, Bib's not here. My bad. But yeah, no, actually, to be fair, he did say Josh was going to win this match. I'll give him that one.
He has that one.
I talk about the individuals first. I talk about how good GUYZ and Ethan are on entry frag, and I talk about now how Cirque's come alive with the AWP. I look at Stan and I think to myself, this man here is an in-game leader. He can be very frustrating, loves a lurk, gets in your face. He's got the whole game right now. Look, I think these two teams compared to each other, one is much stronger strategically. The other has just got lightning in a bottle.
I actually think NRG is the best train team in the world right now, but beating a team like ASTRALIS twice in a row on train at a major is a totally different beast, right? Their outside splits, GUYZ going alley, Ethan either coming, down ladder, taking ground hall first. Those splits are so difficult to deal with. They have fast ladder takes, fast Ivy takes. I saw fast main takes with 5 players. They have crazy interact suits. They're very, very deep on this map.
And interestingly enough, Cirque in the Challenger stage, when he gave an interview, he let us know that this was actually the first tournament here at StarLadder Major, was the first tournament where they truly implemented Stanislaus' structure into the team. The NRG you saw yeah, and we'll keep an eye on him. Train the first map, 63 frags in that series when he first met ASTRALIS. Outstanding. And before we continue this conversation and get those predictions locked in, let's hear what the fans are expecting to see from this series.
Berlin! I am back with ASTRALIS and they are loud as ever. But this time around, we've had a lot of rivalries. What I'm going to ask you guys to do is, first of all, everyone inside the Mercedes-Benz Arena, get on your feet. I want to try something different, so everyone stand up. Now you're going to experiment and show me this, right? We're going to try and get the wave on go. So you know how it works. We're just going to sit there, and as everyone goes round, when I say 1, 2, 3. All right, I don't know if they can hear me. I don't know how drunk they are, if they're even paying attention, but let's try and make this work. 3, 2, 1. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Tonya, catch that wave.
You guys go next. The wave. All right, I think we need to do this again. I'm here with the most passionate North American fans. All right, guys. I don't even need to say anything. You see by yourself that these guys are ready for the victory of their favorite team. James, I am shocked.
Well, it did look like that the wave ended with the Americans, the same way ASTRALIS are about to end their run. So, NRG, you're probably going home, lads, but you gave it a good effort. I think these guys will agree with me. What do you reckon, guys? ASTRALIS? Alex, back to you on the desk, mate.
Just going to let the crowd do the talking for a moment. There is certainly a whole lot of fire, both outside the booth and soon in it. We're getting close to game time here, folks. Of course, I'm joined by Sponge, Thorin, and Sean Gayers, myself, Machine. We need to hear those predictions, gentlemen. How on earth does this series play out? I haven't checked the graphic. I don't know what you predicted. You have to fill me in. I've
gone with ASTRALIS, but if the PGO Krakow simulation is real, NRG will take this one, and we'll see them in the grand final. But I am going with ASTRALIS to take it, right? I just think what I saw yesterday was impressive. They're back to their top
Did they win train, though?
Hey, Duncan, let's wait and see, shall we?
Oh,
that's not how predictions work, I'm afraid. So I'm going to go ahead and say NRG wins this one, 2-1. We get to the nuke. I hope it's going to be a great game. I'll say ASTRALIS can take over past that. It's fair enough. If you look, the new NRG is not really much of an old past team. It's more Daps' era. I think they're going to take train, though. I saw great things from both sides, but it's not a map ASTRALIS plays very often. I want to see that nuke game, because if ASTRALIS can win on nuke and get to a major final, then maybe they are back.
Especially if what Sean is telling me is true, his inkling that perhaps ASTRALIS, even in a 16-3 loss, feel like they could have won it.
I think ASTRALIS is back, and I think they're going to win this series 2-0 and prove it. They're going to go to the major finals. And watch on their CT side train, which they're going to start on. This is going to be very difficult for NRG, in my opinion. I think GUYZ knows that that T-main push is going to be open all day, because they run that 2-1-2 default, and they're going to take T-main time and time.
ASTRALIS before. He knows what it takes to do it. He's done it in this tournament. He's done it in the past. I just look at this contrast, right? He has a similar team to that Optic roster that beat them. You look at Cirque, he's a similar Mixwell, right? His European import on the AWP, obviously Stan and Tarek, they were part of that team. Rush and Ethan, hey, both players who can be very fast, can get into situations, get a lot of frags. And then Naf, well, look at Breeze. He's a player who I would put on par with Naf, right? He is just as good. Stan has been able to replicate the same team years down the line that's been handed to him, and you can see the confidence and how he's changed as an in-game leader. So if there's any opportunity here, I can start believing in that storyline. I can believe in a little bit of NRG magic.
I think he's even Breezy, the guy you mentioned. I think he's the underrated player in this series because listen, we've already seen Cirque pop off and Stan StarLadder in an amazing tournament, and everyone knows Tarek, and he was the guy against Na'Vi. But Breeze was the best player in this squad for, I'd say, like the last 9-10 months.
100%.
But now I piece it together, I realize that name we haven't talked about, and actually a hot contender, if form continues, is GUYZ for major MVP. Again, that just seems so absurd. This AWPer, this player, has managed to kind of find a resurgence after what was the player break. Many felt like it doomed Team Liquid. Yeah,
GUYZ has set, he's wrote the book on how to op as a passive opper, picking and choosing your angles, so methodical. You can clearly see he's designed all of his paths. He's one of the few oppers that you at home could probably mimic. Unlike Kenny S's flicks all over the place, Simple's nutty flicks all over.
Don't try any of that at home.
Yeah, you don't want to try any of that stuff. GUYZ is the person that has that safer home style.
Methodical. Yes. Right? I was in the lift with him last night on the way up, and I said, good game today, man. I said, good stuff over to A ramp. He said, I played with bots in a server just to work out all the angles just before playing the game. So well prepared, and that's one thing we know Astralis is going to be in this matchup. I think both of them are. There's absolutely no doubt that every team in attendance here has taken every moment they can in preparation for these games. These quarterfinals delivered, but now the semis have too. Renegades versus a Vanguard, and we did find the conclusion there. We saw, of course, a Vanguard waiting in the grand finals. It is time, though. Berlin, Mercedes-Benz Arena, are you ready for your second semi?
Oh, this is going to be absolutely beautiful. That Astralis we saw yesterday is so dangerous. I am amazed. There is an entire new section for NRG. They are looking beautiful down there with the American flags, and they're holding all the hope for that region.
It is so hyped up right now, competing with that Danish section over at the long side. NRG starting on the T side with Astralis on the CT side. A very, very quick peek down Pop Dog to see what's going on, as they are set up to crunch this A bomb sites from Ivy as well, but that smoke. Do you want to try and push past that or just wait it out? That's scary if you go through. They don't have a lot of utility either. A single Molotov there, not much to work with.
I think if you're Astralis, you have to know this is a possibility. This is something that NRG is going to run frequently on the T side. Breeze loves to lurk out this Ivy at various points, so you definitely have protocol set up and ready to go for this. Major still peeking down. Not seeing anything just yet in a wide swing from GUYZ. A little bit of team damage as they move forward, but these entry kills are everything. This could be such a nice fake, and they just don't connect. Good trade from Cirque, but still two defenders in the inner bomb site.
Flash shot from Sip, trying to see if he can catch anyone. Magus goes down. That's actually a huge kill on the other side. Cirque now could go for a flank as they're trying to see if they can recover this bomb site. It's not looking good right now for Astralis. Tarek will take down Sip, and that's a 2-on-4. Finally, GUYZ put in the play up from that high ground. Going to be taking down Ethan, sure, but the bomb is still planted, and currently no kit has been picked up. They need to find a way to get these kills and get on that bomb very quickly, and now it's all falling apart. Oh, no! Oh, my Lord! That can't possibly be real!
That is a stunning start to the game. I cannot believe GUYZ has just pulled it off. So many things had to go right for him. They all line up. They all just walk right into his crosshair, and it's 3 headshots.
What do you do if the first round starts out with a 1 in a million play? He should have been dead. There's no way he can't even hide anywhere.
No, he was up top for so long. Look how exposed he is with 17 HP this whole time. So many angles, and look at this lineup. It is so magnificent. I think that's even his last bullet. How is GUYZ across his career continuing to shock us all? So you can see one player rotating back around from NRG to try and pick up that dropped weapon. Now the flashbangs in utility being used, but doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of strength on the NRG side behind this attack.
Glaive. It's a big pickup on Cirque. That's a couple of rifles gone already. They picked them up in return on the T side, but they're not having the impact that they need. The two Kriegs here, as a minimum, gotta get some rifles away from Astralis. Can't let them get off to such a good start. GUYZ will take down Tarek, and they'll finish off the last player as well. And now, things are off to a really hot start here for the Danes.
If you're coming into this as NRG and you're thinking of things that you need to avoid early on in this half, obviously one of the top priorities is keep the AWP away from GUYZ as much as possible, and if at all possible, just don't ever let him get it. And already you failed that. Already in the second round, he's picked up an AWP, he's had a 1 versus 3 clutch. So your game plan has already been shot and ruined. Now it's about recovering.
Back on track. This T side on Train can be ruthless at times, and most especially when the CTs start picking up all the molotovs, the grenades. They can lock down the choke points, and mehenge having no trouble at all against the unarmored targets with that UMP. It's going to be just fine. And they're really a deagle here for Tarek to try and do something with. Doesn't look like there's going to be much of that at all. Stand the last alive, and he will go down quickly. 3-0 in favor of Astralis, moving into round number 4.
First gun round for NRG after the heartbreaking pistol round. They did buy up in the second, but didn't have everything that they'll have this time. 2 Kriegs, 3 AKs, full nades, full utility. Coming into round 4, but that AWP on GUYZ is the mystery weapon. Where is he going to be with it? He is so mobile. So tricky in the different places he goes. Previously in the outer yard, peering towards Ivy. Now the sole player to head towards the inner bomb site. They're going right at him. Breeze and Stanislaw to challenge again. Pop flash doesn't even work. Will there be a follow-up? There's utility used. Great shot from GUYZ, and he's going to get away as well.
Instant with the Molotov